In this video, we are going to install Python in our Ubuntu operating system. So keep in mind that if you have installed your Ubuntu's new version, then Python is probably going to be already installed in it. But if you do not have Python, first of all, you can check it with the help of this command. Just simply go ahead and write Python 3 -- version. So remember, whenever you will use Python in Ubuntu, you always have to write Python 3, right? It lets your Ubuntu operating system know that you are going to interact with Python's version 3, right? If you don't know that, when Python came, first we had Python's 2 version, right? 2.1, 2.2, 2.7, right? So, but then Python evolved, and now we have Python's 3rd version, right? So your terminal has to recognize it, right? So if you want to use Python 3, then you have to, mention it explicitly. So that's why just go ahead and write Python 3 -- version and just hit enter, right? So here you can see I have Python 3.10.6 installed in my Ubuntu operating system. But if this command gives you an error, then just understand that Python is not installed, and you can install it with very simple command, and that is sudo apt install Python 3, right? Just go ahead and hit enter and just enter the password, and it should install, right? So here you can see it did not give me an error, and here you can see it told me that 0 to upgrade, 0 to newly install, 0 to remove, right? And you can see that it is giving me the message that Python is already the newest version, right? So that means Python is already installed. But in your case, if Python is not installed, then it will just go ahead and start downloading and start to get installed in your system. So that's how you can install Python in Ubuntu operating system. Okay, so now that we have Python installed in our Ubuntu's operating system, we can just go ahead and simply test its functionality to see that if it is working fine, or if our terminal or Ubuntu is recognizing it, right? So for that, all you have to do is just go ahead and write Python 3, and here you can see it started Python shell, right? So here you can perform a couple of different tasks, maybe very small programs or codes that, if they will work, then we know that Python is working correctly, right? So imagine that we have x variable, and in the x variable we want to store 30. So I'll just go ahead and write x is equal to 30, and I'll hit enter, and then we can have x is equal to I would say, let's say 40, and I will just go ahead and hit enter, and then let's just take a variable z, and inside this variable z we will store the value of x plus y, right? So x plus y equals to z, and then we can just go ahead and write print z to print the value that we get after doing this addition, right? So if I just go ahead and hit enter, and here you can see we have this 70 as an answer, right? So that's how you can see that Python is not only installed, but it's working absolutely fine. Now, in the next lecture, we will go ahead and install an IDE that will help us in working with Python programming language.